Yo, after the Joker won the championship, he had something to say about comparing the NBA to a job. And he said, nobody likes their job. If they do, they lying. So how much do you guys view the NBA?
Chad, is that facts? Is that facts? Nobody likes their job if they do, they're lying. I think there is some truth to that. Even those who like do the things that they're passionate about for a living, there are definitely, and this is speaking from my perspective, there are definitely days where like, okay, I'm grateful that I'm doing what I love for a living. But also them days where it feels just like a job, and specifically when it is a job, you know, you have to sacrifice what you're passionate about for like the monetary shit sometimes. I don't know, man. I don't know.
NBA as a job. You can answer first, Draymond, because you the guest, baby.
I'll answer first. I might take PG answer a little bit, but I'll tell you, I hate it. I love playing basketball and I love to compete. But he's not lying. I hate it. And I don't want to sound like someone who takes it for granted, because as you can see, every time I step on the floor, like I'm going, like I don't take it for granted at all. But like to Joker's point, it's work. Like, and you have to show up to work every day and perform despite what could be going on at work, what can be going on at home, what can be going on in the world. You have to show up and perform.
I think that's so interesting, because I think a lot of content creators have that same, just like me, have that same sentiment. It's like, and I think this is just the fault of people who started off doing this thing that they're passionate about, and then it became something more than like what you thought it was. It became more than just a side hobby. It became a career. It became $1 million business for you. It became $1 million career choice for you. It's like some things are supposed to be just hobbies. Some things are supposed to be just things that you do on your pastime. But when you make the commitment, and I don't blame you, when you make the commitment to make that thing your full-time thing, you are going to lose a lot of job for that thing that you're passionate about. I don't know if I said that right, but you are going to lose a lot of passion for that thing that you love. And to a certain degree, there does get to a point where you start hating it. You start hating it. Because it was this thing that you was just passionate about, and now it's like everything that you could, it's like everything that you can consume. It's the thing that like pays the bills for you. If you don't perform, are the bills getting paid? Instead of just back in the day, you would just come home from school, play hoops, whatever happens, happens. I mean, it's just playing hoops after school. There's no really any repercussions to that. But when it becomes your bill payer, shit becomes different. Shit becomes different, man.
And it's work. Guess what? Just like people see you in acting and they're like, man, I want to be an actor because you're on TV. There's so much bullshit that comes with it.
Beyond.
Like, so much.
Beyond.
The politics of it.
Beyond.
It's awful. It's the same thing with us. It's so much bullshit that come with it and the politics. But I wouldn't trade my job for another job in the world.
Type shit.
You know, like I'm very appreciative of it. And I love that I get to do that job.
Yeah.
For a living. Like I've loved basketball since I was 2 years old. I actually get to do that for a living and feed my family. It's incredible. I don't take it for granted one bit. But the job I hate.
Right. Right.
I absolutely hate.
I say the same thing. And you got to think about it. And I tell people.
I think he's miswording it. I just think with every job, everything that you do full time, there's just pros and cons. You have you have good days and bad days. There's bad things about it. There's good things about it. Good thing about it is you're doing this thing that you're passionate about and getting paid millions for it. Bad thing is you're doing it too much, to a fault, you know? And you're getting all the scrutiny that you probably wouldn't have had if you just did it as a hobby, you know?
This, like, not many fields you can do without loving. Like basketball, you have to love playing basketball every single day. Because otherwise you go on the court and your job is to be productive. Like your job is to produce. Like when you're on that floor, your job is to be efficient. No other field, like, well, there's other fields. Like, I'm not saying no other fields.
Right.
If you bring in acting, like, you have to love to act, or else that scene is gonna be awful.
It'll be awful. You can tell it all in your face,
right?
Yeah.
So, like, you have to love what you do, and you can get lost in the shit that lead up to it. The treatment. You might not love treatment. You might not be a treatment guy,
right?
But that's part of
the process.
The process.
Yep.
And so it could get lost into, damn, I don't even want to play basketball today because I got to do this. This is hurting me, so I got to do treatment. I got to lift after practice. Like, fuck. Now, like, it's a job. I got to go on a 2-week trip. Like, we got to try. Like, it's a lot that goes into it. But I do think, like, what Draymond said, when it comes to being inside of that rectangle, you love it. It's what you do. It's the reason you do it. It's because you love what you do.
You gotta love what you do.
Everything outside of that shit, it is a job. Mm-hmm. You putting on a hard hat and you clocking in and you gotta clock out.
Yep.
Like,
hey, get ready over there, Rook.
I always
get ready,
people,
baby.
I always tell people, like, when people, like, you know how you get random guys that's like, oh man, I'm better than him, or I could play in the NBA.
Right.
And I always tell people 2 things. Number 1 is you couldn't handle the stress of just knowing that you woke up this morning at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. and you got a game at 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't handle the stress of an NBA game day.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you do from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. has to be conducive to being your best at 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
From 8 a.m. on.
Exactly.
Everything you do. You know how stressful that is?
Right.
Beyond.
Stressful as hell.
Right.
Beyond.
Like, and so I tell people that, like, you couldn't deal with the stress. Oh, and by the way, you're talking about I could play in the NBA, whatever, that's easy. You're right. The game is the easy part.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when we actually get out there at 7 o'clock and play the game, yeah, I'm in heaven now. Like, this is what
Right, finally.
I do love to do this.
Right.
Like, competing, playing basketball, oh, bet your bottom dollar, I absolutely love this.
Right.
That's the easy part.
Right.
But making it there, and I ain't just talking about the game day no more.
Talking about
There's
politics.
so many things and steps that you have to do to make it to that game, including live right.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so to make it there, it's nearly impossible. Like, you think about the amount of times people go through a day and they fuck something up.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't make it to the game.
Right.
Like, actually making it there.
Right.
And so
It's a
I don't know. Again, maybe I've never been in the NBA setting, but y'all think he's kind of gassing it though? I don't know. Just making it to an NBA, like to. I don't know. I just don't think it's like once you're already there, you probably already know what to do type shit. But I see it though. I see it.
I always tell people that.
I dig it.
But I do, and another tidbit for you, Jaime. I think what made it easier for me is getting into a routine.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, because then, like, I'm a person that does well with knowing what I have to do. Everything mapped out.
Yeah.
I don't like a chaotic schedule where this is being thrown on me now and this is being thrown on me now. So what I got good at is just having a routine. I know at this time I'm doing this. I know at that time I'm getting stretched. I know at this time I'm getting shots. Like, and everything, I try to stick to that shit on a daily basis. And that's what make the whole shit easy, because you get lost in it.
The NBA is a hell of a job. That's why I just played on 2K, just 4-year-old. Look.
Nah, he was spitting though. He was spitting. I think the overall conversation, I think it should have just been work-life balance. You know, I think like Jokic during that time was getting way too much criticism for essentially saying like, yo, this is my job, but I don't want it to consume my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want, Like there is a beauty, and it should just be accepted that like the clock in, clock out culture. You like basketball shouldn't be consuming your mind 24/7. And even as content creators, like I've said this, bro, basketball should not be consuming your mind 24/7. It shouldn't be. And if it is, I mean, I guess you can win these NBA debates, but it's really not healthy for you. You know, like it really isn't for each. So even for basketball players, I understand you got to do what you got to do to prepare for games, but you shouldn't get slack for saying, yo, I've clocked out, bro. I've played my game. This is what I get paid for. Is it fine if I just say like I've clocked out and have fun, bro? Like, goddamn. You know? So, I don't know. I think people just have the whole work-life balance conversation is just so interesting to me, especially when you do for a living things that like intertwine with passion. Because like what Draymond and PG said, it is hard to succeed as a basketball player without having a different level of passion for the game, whether that be watching the game, consuming the game, actually playing the game. Like, you have to have a certain level of passion to make it to the NBA. So how do you balance that passion with just this being a job, you know? So